it's Lisa. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing with you this new product from the Stamps of Life. It's the Gift Fold It die set, and this will be featured on HSN. So if you're interested in this product, you'll need to head over to HSN's website and search the Stamps of Life and find it from there. And it comes with these two dies. So you have your piece that makes your card shaped like an A2 size gift. And then you have your piece that goes on top that you can cut out of various color cardstock or pattern paper to make your gift and customize it any way you'd like. So I went ahead and just die cut this layering piece out of a piece of orange cardstock just so you can see what this looks like. And I will be making one of these with you today, but you can see that each one of these pieces has a, there's these lines, so they're actually cut out. And then if you wanted to further customize it, so let's say that you wanted to have these different colors or different pattern papers for each one of these pieces, you can actually take this piece and just cut away and then glue in the color or the pattern paper that you want. So each one of these pieces you can paper piece because all of these lines cut away. Same with on this side, so you can have different colors here as well as for the middle. So if you wanted to have, you know, a different color ribbon going down the middle for the bow, as well as you can see the cutouts here that you can put the different colors in, and as well as for the center. So I'm gonna go ahead and make a card with you today. To make the A2 size card shaped like a gift, you will need to take a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper, well, cardstock, fold it in half, and then take your large die, and you can choose to have it open from the side or have it open from the top. So if you want to have it as an opening on the side, you would simply just place your fold just to the right of the metal die, okay? And if you wanted it to open up from the top, you would place your fold in your cardstock just below the metal die. And I'm going to have mine open from the top. I'm gonna go ahead and put some washi tape just to hold this down so you can see how my fold is just below the die. All right, so here is my card shaped like a gift, and you can see how the top is where my fold was, so it opens from the top. And you can also see that when you die cut it, that it cuts a little bit of the bow off because you see these flat edges. So to fix that, you're just gonna take the same die and you're gonna die cut a piece of the same color cardstock, just a single layer, you're not folding it, and then that will go right over the top of that. And you can see now how you have your nice rounded bow. So this is the piece we're gonna decorate, and the card base we're gonna set aside for right now. So next, you're gonna find your solid cardstock or your pattern paper, however you wanna decorate this. And I chose a piece of pattern paper, and this is from the Birthday Wishes collection from the Stamps of Life. So I'm just gonna take my gift die and I'm going to run that through my die cut machine. Since there are some lines, horizontal lines on this pattern paper, I wanna make sure that my die is completely straight, because if it's not, then my lines will not be straight. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add a little bit of washi tape and run that through my die cut machine. So here's what the die cut looks like. I just went ahead and just set it on. I didn't adhere it yet to this white layer of the bow that I cut out. And you can see all the fun pieces. Now I am going to change up and not make it all of this blue pattern. I do want to change up the bow. So I'm going to die cut the same die out of a piece of banana cardstock so that I can add some color to this present. So you can see what that looks like by just switching out the blue for the yellow, but I'm also going to cut at these lines here. And all of these pieces that I'm cutting away, I can save if I want to make another gift. So you're just gonna cut away at these vertical lines to get this middle part out. You can kind of see what that would look like. Now notice that I cut out and separated it from the left to the right side. If you want, you can maybe put them in some small Ziploc bags and just identify right and left. That way, if you want to use these again, you're not trying to figure out, there's so many little pieces, not trying to figure out which one goes where. Okay, so I'm thinking that I might decide to add a third color and just either replace it here or replace it there. I could go with the two colors and just have the blue and the yellow, but I might just cut out another colored cardstock just to see what it would look like if I did a different color bow or a different color ribbon here for the middle. So you can see what that would look like if you just changed it up just to add another color. So again, I just cut away the sides of that green apple paper, and I put the pieces that came from the right over here on the right side, the pieces on the left side, and I can just bundle those away in case I wanted to use those again. So I'm just gonna go ahead and start adhering some of this stuff, but before I do that, I am gonna add just a little bit of ink to the edges. So on this blue paper, I'm just taking my Blueberry Stamps of Life ink and just adding some ink to the edges. I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. Now I'm not going to use this middle piece, but I'm going to just keep it there just so that I can have a guide for when I put the other piece down. Because if I cut that away, which I technically could, it just will be harder to get all of these pieces back together because these will all be individual pieces, which I'll have to adhere each one of those individually as well. So I'm leaving this whole piece as one, and I'm just gonna add some glue to the back. It will just make it so much easier to adhere. And this is actually going down, remember, on this single layer of the gift that we cut out. It's not going on the actual card base, just that single layer. So next I'm going to take my Banana Stamps of Life ink. I'm going to ink up the edges of the bow. So I just went ahead and put everything where I want it to go, and I'm going to start by adhering this center piece. And then from there, I can adhere these side pieces because those are going to connect to the center. And notice that I'm going to make them flush with that center piece. Next, I'm going to take the green apple ink. Just add some ink to the edges of this cardstock, and that is going to lay down right in the middle. So you can see what it looks like so far, and I do want to point just one thing out. Because I added this extra piece of cardstock over top of another piece of cardstock, it does add some height to this layer. So this is slightly raised, whereas the bow is not. So I went ahead and die cut just the top part again out of the same banana cardstock. I ink blended the edges, and I'm simply going to add another layer just right to the top. So you can see how that gives, I don't know if you can see it, but it does give nice dimension, and it is now even, the layers are even with this entire ribbon. Isn't that cute? I just love how that turned out. So you can customize this however you want. I'm gonna be using a monster on my card front, and this is from the Monsters for Celebrations stamp set, which I stamped it out and colored it with my Copic markers and cut it out with the matching dies. I'm also going to be using a speech bubble, and there are some dies from the Stamps of Life that you can cut out your speech bubbles with, and I will link all these products in my blog. And I cut one out of the powdered sugar cardstock, and I'm gonna use the stamp Congrats. So I'm just gonna stamp that on to my speech bubble. Okay, and then I'm just going to ink up the edges with some red ink, and I'm just using the Stamps of Life strawberry ink, and I chose to do the strawberry ink because I want to bring out some of that red that is in the monster. I'm going to take a googly eye and I'm going to just add some hot glue to the back, and I'm going to add that right to the top of the eye on my monster. This will add some nice dimension. I added some double-sided foam adhesive to the back of the monster. I also added it to the back of the speech bubble just to add some dimension. Now I'm ready to add this to the top of the card base. So take the A2 size gift card base out. I always like to open it and lay it flat, and then just add your glue to the back of the layer that you decorated. And then just line it up and it will be added right to the top. So here's my card. It's a congratulations card, and it has this cute little monster on there, and then the different colored cardstock and pattern paper, and says congrats. And then you can open it up. It is shaped like a gift. You can add your message inside. Here's another gift box folded that I made, and with this one I did the same, very similar to what I did in the last card. So, but this one opens from the left side. So the other one opened from the top, and this one opens from the left. And I did cut the card base out of the strawberry cardstock, and another layer of a single of the shadow layer in the strawberry went on top of that. And then the gift die, that was cut out of this pattern paper, which is from the Mary collection. So I used this paper here, and I glued that down and then cut the bow, as well as this portion of the bow I cut in the kiwi cardstock. I did add some kiwi ink to the edges here of the kiwi cardstock, and I added some strawberry ink to the edges of the pattern paper. Now, one thing that I did differently that I did not do on this card, with this one, remember I die cut 2 of the banana paper and I piled them on top here so that it added the dimension. Well, this one I did very similar to that. I did do 2 sheets of the kiwi cardstock, but instead of adding this layer here, I left it off. So you can see I actually have them here, but I did not include those. And the reason I didn't is because as I was looking at it, I just thought that the dimension here, with this one being, with the top layer being more upraised than the bottom layer, it just added more dimension to that bow. So you can see, well, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, it might be hard to see, but here everything is completely flat, whereas on this one there is a little bit of dimension with this back layer of the bow. So I thought that looked kind of neat, so that's one thing I did differently. And then also with this card I used the seasonal words, and these are also being released on HSN this month, and I used the Merry Christmas. And I cut the shadow layer out of the powdered sugar, and then I cut the Merry Christmas words out of the strawberry, which is the same cardstock as I used for the card base. And then the Santa, this Santa was from the Santa and Snowman Pudgy that was released on HSN in July. So some of you might have this stamp set, and it's absolutely adorable. I did do a video on this stamp set, which I will link below, so that you can see how I colored this snowman. So you can see how that I colored this Santa, and I just think that turned out super, super cute. So I did color him up and die cut him with the matching dies. And then the last thing that I did is I took my Spectrum Noir clear marker and I just went over top of all of the red in the Santa just to add some sparkle, as well as I went over top of the red cardstock on just the words Merry Christmas, just to add some sparkle to that. So I'm not sure how well you can see this on the camera, but there is a little bit of glitter to both of these pieces. So that is my card. Actually, these are both of my cards that I made for my design team project for the gift folded. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Remember that this gift folded is available on HSN. So if you are interested in getting it, you'll have to head over to the HSN website and do a search for the Stamps of Life, and it should pop up. if it's not already sold out. All right, please leave me a comment below and have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.